And we will start the show with your intro. We're live.
What's going on, guys?
Hey guys, what's going on, guys?
Hey guys, what's going on, guys? Another episode of Cold Beer and Whitetails. Got my buddy Cory on here. Cheers, buddy.
Cory on. That was my gamer.
Oh, that's his gamer tag.
I got Cory on.
He's probably enjoying that
Oh,
right
my
there.
God.
That takes you back in some time.
Hey, changed it to Bad Twins now, but yeah.
Yeah. Bad Twins, Cory on. I just remember you guys ducking down in the Guardian Halo 3.
Oh yeah, dude. Just got to
Throwing
duck down.
sticky nades. Lobbing them.
Single shot to the Domski.
Oh, yeah.
Red dot to the Domski.
No, but back on another episode. It's been a couple weeks, guys. Thanks for everybody tuning in, following, liking, subscribing.
It's been like 2 weeks. You're a bad poster, man.
Hey, I've been busy, man. I've been out of town. I've been doing archery stuff.
Oh, that's right. I guess you got a new bow you can show. We can
Yeah,
show that
oh,
little video of
Yeah.
in a second. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I did. I got a new bow. Got a Bowtech Core SS.
What do you mean, not a Matthews?
No, not a Matthews. We'll just dive in. I was going to save that for the last.
Oh,
but-
okay. Sorry.
No, we're diving right into the bow. Yeah, I got a Core SS, which is a carbon material, so it's lighter in weight. I mean, it shoots really nice. We did a chronograph on it, which is where you measure the speed of your arrow. It going 280 feet per second.
So it's better than a Matthews.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I love my Matthews. It's definitely not better than a Matthews. Matthews is the top of the line, but it's a very nice bow. I was wishing I got a Matthews, but shot a black gold sight, which their fiber optics in their sight, they hold UVs. I'm talking about the sight. I'm going off the deep end here, but on their sight, their UVs, their fiber optics hold UVs better, so that actually has bigger pin brightness in it, and so that was what was attached to my bow, and they got a patent on it, so nobody else can do that in the sight world. But it was pretty cool shooting with that bow I would normally never buy, and then that sight that has the highest level of fiber optic in it, and yeah, I was shot out to 100 yards. There's a big Sasquatch 3D target, smoked it right in the nose. Yeah, I wasn't aiming for the nose, but that's where I hit.
Well, at least you're honest.
Yeah, I was aiming for the belly.
Oh, I was aiming for the belly. But
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good thing if you shot high, though.
Yeah, I did shoot high. Yeah, I'd rather shoot high
Wait,
than
you
low.
weren't aiming for the belly. You were aiming lower.
I know exactly what you're thinking. You're not right in the head.
I just calls as I sees them, man. I know who you are.
Calls them as I sees them.
I calls them as I
He
sees them.
sounds like Elmer Fudd.
So I says, I don't trust this guy is what I says.
No, I'm very pleased with it, though. I think that I'm going to try and at least climb a stand with it a time or two this year.
Okay.
At least make sure I knock down a good buck before that point. But with my Matthews, obviously. Yeah. But no, it is a good bow. I also got a chance to get another sight that I really enjoyed, which was the UV slider, lights up at night. Is that what you got pulled up there, Chad?
I do. I don't have it on screen yet, but I can pull it up for you.
Yeah, totally. Play it, man. It's awesome. So it's perfect for a last light and a first light situation where you have a hard time seeing the deer, and it makes those pins really light up big and light. I mean, the whole leveler looks like lava because it's so bright. But yeah, no, they're both just fun to shoot. I'm gonna put my lighted Nox on here, and
yeah, it's awful dark in that video too. So
it was very clear. Pulling back on it, being able to see it, and I'm also gonna put the Nox on the end of the arrow. You know how I shoot them and they light up.
Yeah.
So between those two, I'll be okay at last light situations.
Yeah, I mean that right there. I mean it's kind of like having a compass that has a good radiation.
Yeah.
On there, because you got to be able to do land nav at night. You got to be able to dead reckon. So that's exactly like that. You got to be able to see that stuff.
It's the thermal of the optic world.
It changed the game.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you're looking down black iron sights on a rifle and it's black at night, you're like, I'm just hoping I'm on target.
Well, the big deal too why they made it was because this is that light in the video that he's showing right there is about the exact light that the biggest of the deer come out in. So idealistically, that's about when you're probably going to be shooting them in those kind of conditions.
Yeah.
So being able to practice that before the moment happens is paramount.
But the problem with that is, deer are terrified of, lava lamps. So they see that, they're gone.
I hope they don't see that.
They're gone.
I hope they don't. I'll be 20 foot up in a tree, so surely they won't.
You're back. Smell that lava lamp?
And they probably would smell it before they ever see it, knowing them. They're just sitting there, nose in the wind, twirling.
I smell hippies.
Yeah. Couple liberal hippies.
Yeah. But yeah, so what you were wanting to talk about today was you were wanting to talk about basically just working.
Yeah.
Working in the field.
Yeah. Being a field,
No,
but
they didn't get power tools.
they were tilling out there with metal forks.
There you go. But no, so I guess today's subject is trimming trees.
Trimming trees.
Which is it's not something you'd ever think about when you're hunting deer.
Feeding deer, but we'll get to that part. Yeah, just...
You mean cheating? You got mixed feelings about that.
I do. I really do. No, I guess I'm playing the game that everybody else is playing.
Well, hey, it's like what you can say what exactly that guy said, but I mean, if everybody else around you is playing that game, you got to play it. Otherwise, you're not going to be competitive in the sport.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, we can. We'll just take it in reverse. We'll go that one, and then we'll do the trimming trees last. But yeah, when it comes to, I guess, so state of Oklahoma, you can feed deer. So that's what legally you're ethically able to do that. And in Illinois, the best that you could do was do a food plot, like grow clover or purple turnips. That's what I did. So my father-in-law was a farmer, so we would farm about a half of an acre, and then we would plant that, and that's what I would hunt them off of. But in Oklahoma, you can hunt them over feeders and stuff, and as you said, I definitely feel indifferent about it. But I also feel like I don't have skin in the game if I'm not playing or going by the same beat of the drum as the people around me.
Yeah.
And knowing that people on the surrounding properties do that, I kind of feel like I would be missing opportunity. And I kind of got schooled by a couple people well older than me in age that have had
seasoned veterans of
that have had
too.
far more experience than me, and they basically told me to drop my pride and ego, and that if I really wanted a chance to get the opportunity to do that and harvest a good mature buck, that if everybody else was around me doing it, I'd be ignorant not to.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like playing a sport, I mean, you got to drop your ego out the door. You're not going to be successful. It's like I said, it's like that time we were playing basketball with you at the Case Athletic Complex at
when we were in college, yeah.
And we were getting our butts whooped, and me and Chad were just fighting left and right, blaming each other. And you were
You love that story.
Oh, it is. I mean, but it's a good humbling story where it's just like, hey, lose the ego and just play the game, and then all of a sudden we come back and we just dunk on some fools, man. Like they were like, dude, it's 4 points and this game's over, and we came from the deficit to we dunked on them. They never scored a point again, and then they left kicking the basketball across the gym.
Yeah, no, that's a really good example, because it's kind of like in sports when you're preparing, you've got a handful of plays that you think are going to be your favorite or that are going to work, and you get out there and the ball rolls out and everything starts happening, and you start realizing, crap, shit, the plays that I had drawn up are not going to work. Now, are you just going to stick to your guns and die on that hill, or are you going to be able to make the adjustment and have the availability to do something different? And that's kind of how I relate to it, my decision to do that, because to not do that, I feel like I'm kind of going up a rope.
Yeah.
Not being able to maximize all my capabilities or my opportunities.
Well, it's like I said, check your ego at the door when you come to doing this. And like I said, if everybody else is doing that thing, and this is not, it's like what you say. It's why it's called hunting and not killing. You know, it's like everybody else around you in this area is doing this, and they're not even doing it well. And you're not even giving yourself a shot by not playing that game, because you're just like, I can do this without it. It's like, well, they're increasing their odds and you're decreasing your odds.
Yeah, another way I look at it is, you made a really good point. It's and they're doing that and thgoing to even doing it well. I do think that if this is what I'm going to do, then I'm going to try and be the best at it, like all things, obviously. I'm not going to give it anything less than my best effort. But with that being said, I think that I should be able to steal some opportunity from the people in surrounding lands by doing that. And like our fraternity brother Nick Tucker, he's got a bunch of land where I think that he can exile this like opportunity. He doesn't have to necessarily do what I'm saying because he has so much
more
land, and they move in a natural pattern to where he doesn't have to do his best to hold deer in certain areas. And so if you have 1,600 acres or something like that, or 1,200 acres, nothing matters as much as it does if you have, I don't know, 150 acres or something like that, making it a whole lot harder to get done. Plus, I mean, you're just dealing with smaller land, and if everybody else around you is doing it, then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot by not maximizing that opportunity.
Well, the beauty is you have the corral, you have the golden spot, but the problem is on the edge of that golden spot you got the feeders. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when it comes to public land too, I don't ever feel any of the feelings I do as I'm talking to you right now about things, because now we're all in the same playing field. Nobody can do anything like that, and land's generally like tens of thousands of acres. Like the one up there, right, that borders Kansas, it's like a 14,000 acre public land, and you don't battle all that stuff. And if you do, it's on the edges of the property.
If you walk your way in, you're not going to have that issue.
If you get to the core of the property, you're not going to have the issue. But yeah, and if you're hunting the edges, then you're being lazy anyways, because you're not walking into where they're supposed to be. So yeah, from a private land perspective, on a smaller terrain, yeah, I'd be foolish not to implement it and at least see what comes from it. Maybe put a couple, 2 or 3 spots that make sense in certain areas, and just like I said, see how it plays out. But for everybody out there, I'm coming to the dark side. I'm playing the game you guys have all played for a while, and I'm going to see how she pans out, and like I said, maybe do it at 2 or 3 different spots. But when it comes to the bigger places, like the public, hunt saddles and pinch points, like land terrain movements, oxbows and stuff like that, like creek bottoms. But the smaller terrain of private, yeah, I'm gonna give it a go.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a go, especially after being schooled by people who have far more wisdom in the game than what I do. See what everything has to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it all comes down to preparation, though, man. Like I said, it's all going to be, you got to be doing the right things. It's like when you talk about the FUDs that go out there. It's like if you're not in shape, you're going to have a tough time. If you don't keep your physical health good, you're going to have a tough time. But more importantly, you got to set up your spots, which you guys have already done. You've already scouted and picked your spots, but now you're going to go out there and you're going to talk about maintaining those spots and giving yourself the best vantage points to make those critical shots.
Make those truly ambush points. Yeah, and that's what it does. It just takes it over and over again rather than just finding a place to hang and hunt. I do think most hunters are lazy. As much as they do enjoy the outdoors and enjoy nature and their experience, I do think they are lazy. I don't think they do a good job preparing, and I don't think that there's much forethought into the future other than I want to hunt.
Yeah.
And some people do it for the social aspect. We talk about certain people and things.
As you sit there drinking a beer on this podcast.
Yeah, but some people literally will be in the woods just because their buddy is. You know what I mean? Not because they live and die by it. But when that's the case, then I think you're pressuring deer in a lot of ways that if you weren't out there, you could do more harm than good just by not being out there.
For sure.
You do way more damage than good whenever you're walking in the morning blowing deer out, or you're with somebody who is loud.
Yeah.
Just because you want to be out there with your buddy, or you're trying to hunt that one your favorite spot. Well, your favorite spot is going to get you caught.
Yeah.
And I also think that I said this several times, but whenever you go to the woods, I think we educate deer more than they educate us, because we're in their world.
Yeah.
We're in their world, and every time we go out there, they're like, why is this guy out here? All I know is every time this dude in the orange walks out here, he smells funny, and he's loud over here. I'm certain that if I sat a buck down and we could talk to him like a person, they would say things like that. And it's like, well, hearing it come from the horse's mouth is what is going to really make it click. But yeah, I like that. Hearing it come from the buck's mouth is what's gonna really make it click in your head, though. But serious, I mean, you think you get in there and you're like, oh, because I didn't hear the deer run away or I didn't hear him snort at me or nothing, I got in clean. That does not mean that at all. Like, matter of fact, the biggest deer will just turn around and walk away. They won't make a noise or nothing like that, and they'll just turn around. And then you'll never have known that because you never saw it, whether it be because it's dark or...
Well, it's like that time you talked about how I humbled you and Chad when you guys were out there setting up some spots. Like, I was walking, and I passed that railroad track. Those deer, if they hadn't got up and I heard them step on a leaf, I'd have never known they were there.
You wouldn't have, no.
Like, I walked past the thing, and I literally turned left, and there they are darting over the railroad track. I didn't hear them until I heard one twig snap because they had to push through some brush.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I would. I'd love to talk to a deer. Trust me. I'd love to be able to sit down and talk to a mature buck.
He has a deer son out there somewhere.
Yeah, I do. That's the only reason I hunt. I'm hunting my...
He's out to get his little homunculus son.
And then his son's his son. I'm hunting my whole family tree.
The whole genealogy.
Problem is, it's a very emotional harvest. I get out there and I kill it, and I'm really crying.
So we're talking to the modern day Dr. Doolittle right now.
No, I'd love it if I could pick the brain, though, You think that you get away with way more than what you do. You don't, I promise.
But yeah, I think you were talking about wanting to get out there this weekend and start trimming some trees.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, got to definitely do that. I'd like to be able to be done with it all probably by the end of July, of being like having all my shooting lanes set up. Mm-hmm. And then having a couple of different spots where I can't find a good tree to hunt out of to be able to like brush in a ground blind, which takes time, I mean, especially if you're talking anything more than 4 spots, that's a majority of your day climbing up and cutting and taking care of all things. But that's my goal, is to get that done this weekend and maybe the weekend after, just to clear things up and be able to get into the spots that are my favorite.
Yeah.
Be able to get the shots off. But that takes a lot of work to do that. I know that I watched a video the other day of a guy. He was pulled back on a big boy, shot, hit a limb, and it fell down, or the arrow changed directions, clearly going down. That buck stood there looking like literally right at him, and snorted and ran off. And I'm like, that's what I don't want to happen to me right there. Have a defensive lineman's arm in my face while I'm throwing the ball, per se.
Yeah, that's something I didn't even think about. Depending on your zone or where you're at, like, you got multiple trees you can climb up, so you want to trim the tree that you're climbing up in, so you have those branches cleared away. But then you also want to look at your kill zone, or what you assume your kill zone's going to be, and then clear that crap out too. Like, I mean, that's the level of detail you really got to go into. Like, I mean, it's the same as the Army setting up an ambush or a fire sector. It's like, to...
Leupold, obviously. Leupold, the site company, and I had a chance to get schooled on their rangefinder. It's called a Full Draw 5, and it's based off ballistic technology, and you put in, how fast your bow shoots, and how heavy your arrow is, and when you range it, the animal you're looking to harvest, if there's a limb in the way, it'll put a red line in your rangefinder telling you that your arrow, based on where you're ranging that deer, is going to hit that limb. And so outside of doing that, the only thing that you can negate to make that obsolete is just cut the limb. So I don't have that rangefinder.
Yeah, I'm sure it's expensive as crap, too.
Yeah, it is. But unless you have that kind of technology, like everything I'm saying is extremely vital to be able to prep yourself and get ready to have those clear shooting lanes and give yourself the best opportunity.
And it's never going to happen the way you expect it to happen either.
Oh, no.
Like, I mean, you always think it's like, that's where he's going to come. You might get lucky 1.001% of the time, like, I know where he's coming from. But like I said, 90% of the time, you'll be like, I think he's going to come from there. And then all of a sudden, you look down and they're right below your boot, and you're like, I gotta wait till he gets out in front of me so I can even get a decent shot off on this tree. And that's if he doesn't just walk the tree line next to me where I'm sitting up here posted up against the tree. It's like, hey, he's going that way. I have no line of sight.
No.
I'm gonna have to climb out of this tree to even get a shot off on him. I'm gonna be shooting him right in the butt.
Yeah. Oh, they definitely come from where you least expect them. That's a very good point. And especially certain times of year, you're not even going to know where they're coming from. Everything that you thought you knew, you can literally just ball it up and throw it away, because whether it be the rut, when they're chasing tail, all things go out the window, all things logic. And then that's when you get caught off guard, because you're so routine into thinking what they're going to do. And there's that 30-day window where that doesn't matter.
Everything's out the window.
It doesn't matter. You keep always coming back to that forefront of thought. You're like, they
season,
should be coming right here. Doesn't matter. Like how many times
you got guys in the area that haven't been there ever.
Yeah.
He's like, I smell something over here. There's some fertile ladies over in this area.
Yep. Yeah, and they got a heavy scent. You about to say something?
No.
Oh.
Chad was like, oh yeah, they got a heavy scent.
Chad heard scent. He perked up. He popped up like a meerkat. No, yeah. So trimming trees, handling that. Like I said, talk to you guys about the feeders, my new bow. Outside of that, I don't really got a whole lot other than just continuing the summer off-season projects. It's kind of dull and boring because we can't necessarily film a hunt, and maybe all we can do is shoot our bows and pop balloons, because that's what it feels like right now. But just staying prepared and trying to stay focused, because making it a 12-month thing is how it's really going to pan out. I told you that one time. This is when you kill them in June and July. You just hunt them in the fall. If you're chasing them and trying to figure it out, then you're just a step behind. You should have done that.
Yeah.
A season ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, in the Army, when you plan an attack, the attack part is the least important part of it. It's like you should already know exactly what you're going to do before you step out. Like you already got it figured out. You do your con op, you do your battle plan, you show everybody the route, road of travel, and even then, it's like, this is where we assume it's going to happen, and then all of a sudden you get out there and you're like, well, it happened a little bit sooner than we thought it did, or it came from a great example, man. And that's all it is. It is military tactics, except with a deer, and the deer's not armed. But back in the day, it's like, well, that's his food. We don't come home with the meat. Everybody's gonna be hungry tonight.
I mean, you're hitting it on the head with a hammer. I also think that the majority of people that think they do understand that don't is far and few between, because there are plenty of people who just show up for the hunt.
Yeah, and it is fun. Like it's fun doing that. It's fun going out there and feeling that, and like with no prep. It's like, oh, this is way fun. But if you want to be successful, it's like what you said. It's you don't kill them in October and fall. You kill them now. You're prepped up. You know the lanes of travel. You know how you're going to step. You know where you've seen them before. You know where you're going to step. It's like, oh, a tree branch fell here the other day. I have to worry about stepping over it, or a twig's right here, or
that's in one of the 10 Commandments of bow hunting, is don't step on it if you can step over it. I mean, all those little things. Don't step on it if you can step over it. Always walk upwind, and all those things come into play. Just like in game of football, stacking all those inches over and over is what's going to give you a win, and it's just a game of inches.
Did you say always fart upwind?
I do that. I'll fart upwind right now.
Yeah, hey.
Case Simpson asks, how old do you think Drake's deer son is? 14? 15?
That's a very good question, Case. I think he's mature by now. I think he's well worth the harvest, and if he came through on trail camera, we'd have to put an arrow in him. I don't know what that means from an age structure, Case, but very good question. Either way, if he comes through, we're stopping him. We're gonna boom.
His ass is grass, Case. Yeah. That's what we're saying here.
And I'll be like this if I'm in a stand like this. That's my boy as he's coming through.
Your ass is grass.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for watching, Case. Appreciate you tuning in, buddy.
He says he pisses facing into the wind.
Hey, Case, don't pee on my back and call it rain.
That's an airborne thing.
Yeah. Peeing in the wind? That sounds dangerous there, Maverick.
they piss themselves because they're jumping out of the airplane. They're already scared. It just blows back.
Hell, Case, if that's what you're doing, you're better off peeing your pants. It'd be like that scene in Billy Madison. You pee your pants? Yeah, I pee my. It's cool. Everybody's peeing their pants.
Peeing your pants is cool. Then I'm Miles Davis.
Well, next time I have an option to go upwind or downwind, I'll do it one time for you, Case, upwind. I'm sure it'll turn into a disaster, but we'll go for it.
You shake it more than twice, you're playing with yourself. That's all I'm going to say.
That's true. That is true, yeah. Yeah, no, I'll keep it short and sweet. I don't know if I've got much else to say. You got anything else to say?
Nah, man, I said preparation's everything.
Yeah, just prepping.
That's what we're gonna do this weekend. We'll go out there with some
may get my
line.
bow restrung one more time before it's all said and done with, just because I got some wear and tear on the serving from where my knot clicks on my string. But just continuing to maintenance things. Oh, next time I think I'm going to bring that sight that you pulled on that video.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I'm going to bring it on here, and I can like maybe walk it up to your camera and
100%.
show the people like with light and without light what it looks like as it lights up.
Yeah,
I think that'd be pretty cool to demonstrate. But yeah,
100%.
awesome, man. Guys, thanks again for watching and liking. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. Cory, thanks for coming on here with me, buddy.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.